Hello, this is a match between Team Frost and Team Air for League of Legends NACC. On the blue side, we have Veronal on Syndra, Elxus on Elise, Soyun Jang on Annie, All Oops on Jinx, Wilby Law on Lee Sin, and on the purple team, we have Mondude on Nidalee, Best Baron Calls on Shyvana, Pikachu Legends on Olaf, Yukua on Zyra, and Mini Audix on Caitlyn. So it looks like Veronal will be taking the mid lane, Elxus will be taking the jungle, Soyun Jang will be taking support along with Alal Oops, and Wilby will be taking top with Lee Sin. On the other hand, we have Mondude in mid lane, Best Baron Calls in the top lane, Pikachu Legends in the jungle, and Yakua and Miniotix rocking the bot lane. Looks like both sides are going for a kill lane. Rather than grabbing Exhaust, they both grab Ignite. Looks like Shyvana also grabbing Ignite as well versus Lee Sin top grabbing. Lee Sin top usually is a fairly sustainable top versus Shyvana. But on the other hand, Soyun Jang's team has quite the quite the amount of hard CC with Soyun Jang's early Annie stun along with Elsus's Cocoon and possibly Veronal's Scatter the Weak combo. The amazing amount of crowd control that blue team possesses is quite a force to be reckoned with. On the other hand, purple team has quite the amount of poke to be reckoned with as well. So it's poke versus hard engage. Looks like we're gonna have a pause coming along. Something about knowing the drill. I don't know what this is about, but talking about the team comps. Mid lane is going to be Syndra versus Nidalee. Nidalee is a very simple, safe laner. Just sits in the back, chucks spears, heals, and stays sustained and ready to just get away from ganks as soon as she hits 6. Whereas Veronal, Syndra, is a champion that has massive wave killer potential as she grows forward in the game. As we get into the game, I'm gonna just organize these players real quick. Here, there, and there we have it. All set. Pings coming down on the blue side. Mondude's team already making their way to defend the blue, whereas Elsus's team has actually decided, hey, let's go invade their blue. And it looks like they might be able to spot each other out here in the midst of nowhere, in the midst of the river jungle. It looks like they're not going to. It looks like red team is actually pinging to invade their red right away. But none of the players will spot each other. Ping's already going around deciding, hey, we should go the long way. A trap has already been placed at the blue ball, so if they step on the trap, it's gonna give them vision. So looks like will they actually get spotted by the trap? Yes, Soyun Jang steps on the trap, giving them vision that all 4 players happen to be there. A ward gets dropped out by Soyun Jang, knowing that so they can see where the players are at the blue. And it looks like blue team is just gonna decide to back off and head back in through their own red jungle. And it looks like Pikachu Legends actually walking forward, throws an axe out, sees Soyun Jang. Looks like we might get an early team fight here. Another axe goes down, Soyun Jang getting hit. A lot of aggression coming out already, a lot of poke coming out. Cocoons popping out, spiders popping out, Qs popping out everywhere. But will an invasion attempt be successful? No wards have been placed by blue team, so they don't know exactly where blue team will be. But a ward gets dropped onto red. The trinket actually missing its detection rate and doesn't see the ward deep inside the red. Looks like Elxus is just gonna go start red and smite right away, hit level 2, and then focus her attention towards the top lane. Whereas Pikachu Legends grabs blue and will probably head to red and then focus his attention to the top lane. We might see some early action at level 2 or 3 between the junglers and the top laners. Meanwhile, mid lane is just another farm game, and bot lane is also very strong. Zyra is actually not a popular pick at this current time. While she still may be strong, Annie is another support that outscales her because of her recent popularity. The thing with Annie is that her ability to dish out raw damage is very similar to Zyra's ability to dish out raw damage in Season 3. Looks like a lot of early trade going off from Wilbur and Wilby and Best Baron Claw is actually going to dive. He flashes in, both of them trade each other. Looks like Wilby gets the first blood off of Best Baron Claws, and Best Baron Claws picks up a kill through the tower. Both players sitting at 1-1, both buying more items. Lee Sin chooses to pick up a second Doran's Blade, maximizing as much damage as he can. Looks like Elsis is actually going to go through the side and gank the mid lane from behind. Looks like the stun not coming off. A stun already goes off from Veranol. A second cocoon comes in. Mondu taking a huge amount of damage, heals himself, but Veranol picks up the kill. It's not enough for him to survive. Pikachu Legends forced to come mid and defend the lane. Wow, that was an amazing gank by Elsis. Coming in from the side, waiting for the stun to go off, and right after, she waited as long as she could, and at least dropped the cocoon right away as soon as Veranol's stun wore off. Looks like more trading going on at top. Best Baron Claw still currently sitting at level 1. Missed a lot of EXP. Wilby is actually just sitting at Wubilaw is actually just sitting at level 3, much ahead. Also, send Pikachu Legends getting into a little duel in the mid. The axe goes off, but it hits the spiders and stops right there. Looks like no action is going to go continue from them. They're going to back away. Top lane still just sits down and farms. Wilby actually just realizing that Safeguard does not shield minions anymore. Stun going off from Soyun Jang, but it's not going to be enough as Pikachu Legends comes in, but the Jinx Q comes in and slows Pikachu Legends from continuing any further. Actually, I was wrong. Pikachu Legends is actually still going in. Soyun Jang taking a massive amount of damage, picks up the axe. Soyun Jang actually picking up a kill on Zyra. Pikachu Legends still dealing the damage. The flash comes across. At least Elsis comes in, repels right on in. Pikachu Legends still trying desperate to get the kill. The Mondude comes in and throws a spear, picks up a kill as well, and that's going to be a 3 for 3. Only 100 gold difference. Another spear comes out, but it's actually just going to hit a spider. Veranol's still shoving his lane out while Mondude is down at bot lane. While Best Baron Claws up here is still getting pressured. Oh, Pikachu Legends actually tried to go dive. God dang it, this camera. Anyway, Pikachu Legends actually tried diving and gets extremely low. Elsis actually manages to live. And Mondude comes back to an extremely pushed lane. He's falling way far behind his CS. 2 levels down, but that gank sure did help him get up some money. Make up for a little bit of the gold that he missed earlier when he got killed. Wubilaw just applying a lot of pressure. Misses Q, so he decides to back away right away. And then Best Baron Claws actually has a pretty strong pick. Shyvana is actually really good in the late game because of her massive ability to deal as much damage and tank a lot of damage as well. See, she right there just walked around. It's impossible to, it's really hard to outduel a Shyvana as she levels up. You can see here that Best Baron Claws clearly demonstrated the power of Shyvana just by turning on his W and swinging Wilbur like once or twice, and then just pushing forward. The amount of magic damage and physical damage that Best Baron Claws possesses on Shyvana is just overwhelmingly strong. So Best Baron Claws picks up the second kill and decides to shove the lane down so that Wilbur misses CS. A lot of damage coming while mid lane. A lot of damage coming out onto the minions. Best Baron Claws actually getting pressured by Elsis. Elsis actually forced to go top, showing herself up top means that she's able to pressure. Means that other lanes are able to pressure their lanes. Cannon minion actually following Elsis, kind of funny. Lol Oops actually quite farther ahead on CS than Miniotics, but Jinx is actually taking quite a bit of damage from Yakuo and Miniotics. A lot of pressure coming up from Miniotics. Already down to half health, forced to use another pot. Both players rocking the same items, just only a minor CS difference. But 2 assists probably changed the gold amount. Yeah, just about 100. So the thing with top lane is that Wilbur is just deciding to pressure top constantly, as he's already shoved the top lane to a really far area. He's already getting the tower down. Looks like Pikachu Legends is actually coming down for a gank. He is level 6, so he can, if he gets stunned, he can just disable his stun right away. He gets stunned, so will he activate Ragnarok? No, he will not. Snare comes across, it misses, and looks like Soyun Jang is actually does not have his stun. It looks like he's not going to be able to disable any of them if they decide to go a little bit deeper into enemy territory. Looks like blue's up, buffs are up, both sides. Elsa's already on her red, and Pikachu Legends is already on his blue. Possibly able to give it to Mondude because Mondude needs it, versus the fact that Elsa's can Pikachu Legends can grab it because he's behind, but he looks like he's just gonna choose it to grab. He's just gonna choose to give it to Mondood because Mondood needs it. Mondood needs the mana as Nidalee, just spamming those spears. But the top lane kind of missed it. A little kill, another duel on Shyvana. Looks like she turned into her dragon form and manages to take out Best Baron Calls, picking up his 3rd kill of the game. Already pushing out the tower once again. Shoving right away, the amount of damage that she can do. She already picked up a Giant's Belt from his last recall, whereas Wilbur picked up he picked up a Vamp Scepter to see if he could try to sustain himself in lane. Looks like that's not really going to do much, because the amount of sheer damage that Shyvana dishes out is just strong. Maxing Burnout first increases the amount of damage that she can just dish out while staying. Like, her physical attacks aren't going to deal much, but her damage over time, it's like having a Sunfire Cape on you, and then once you actually build Sunfire Cape, it's incredibly powerful. Pikachu Legends already on his red buff, whereas Elsa's is already on his blue, possibly giving her blue to Shyvana because she needs it. Syndra already walking over there. Syndra's burst damage late game is actually really strong too, if a player really knows how to play as Syndra correctly. I, for one, am not really a good Syndra player, so I wouldn't know. But seeing as how this happens, seeing this right now, we can see that Veranol is actually constantly pushing the lane so that Mondood misses CS and misses experience. You can see here that Mondood is currently just a level behind, but he's also like about 17, 16, large deficit in CS, huge difference. Looks like Best Baron Calls taking a huge amount of Best Baron Calls dishing a huge amount of damage while not taking much damage in a turn. His trade is actually really efficient. He hasn't popped a single pot, whereas Wilby is actually forced to pop a couple of pots himself. Elsis is already walking down. She already starts warding the jungle. Tries to do Dragon alone. Looks like it's not going to work. Pikachu Legends actually coming in, drawing out his spear. The Cocoon misses, but Pikachu Legends will decide to back off, seeing that Soyun Jang is right there to back him up. Looks like Best Baron Calls picks himself up his 4th kill of the game, and looks like he's only being 5 CS ahead. The sheer amount of damage that Best Baron Calls is doing is just tremendously amazing. Right now, he's sitting at 4-1. Huge gold lead, huge power spike. You do not want to feed a Shyvana. Here comes Pikachu Legends in the mid lane with the gank. He's actually just going to throw Axe. He's not going to hit it. He's actually decided to back. Just going to decide to hold the lane while Mondood decides to go back to base and recover his missing health. Veranol actually sitting a large CS difference between him and Mondood. Looks like Veranol is actually deciding to go for an Athene's Unholy Grail, just like Mondood right now. Standard mana item. Looks like ulti coming off, Strangle Thorns coming off right away for Yakuo, and Miniotics uses Ace in the Hole, picks up a kill right away onto Lol Oops. Lol Oops is dead. So this way Miniotics can take his time to farm back up. But Elsis comes down here for a gank, see what happens. A stun goes off on Sohyun Jing. They decide to focus onto Yakuo. Yakuo is actually forced to flash away. Miniotics actually dealing a large amount of damage. He pops his barrier, but he's not going to go any further because he's too short. Looks like Miniotics decides to flash away. The Cocoon barely misses, and Elsis is actually out of mana. He's forced to switch to Spider form. Repels inward. The Miniotics actually getting extremely low. Elsis picks up her kill, and Yakuo is actually not able to do anything about it because she is also out of mana as well. Pikachu Legends actually going down onto here, but it does not manage to pick up a kill onto Jing. The flash Q from Elsis to see if she can try to pick up a kill. Elsis does manage to pick up a kill. Cocoons of minions and misses. Pikachu Legends pick up the kill. Lol Oops getting caught out by Mondood over here. The spear gets out. A spear comes out, chunks a big portion of his health, and Mondood is actually just going to decide to back off because nothing can happen from here. Wilbalol on top lane is actually now 2 levels under Best Baron Calls due to all the amount of CS that Best Baron Calls has shoved in their lane. He's actually decided to constantly, because he's shoving out top constantly, whereas Wilby did that early game. Best Baron Calls is actually quite ahead in CS, the fact that he's died 4 times, and Best Baron Call is actually ahead in experience because he's, picking up 4 kills. And he's actually going for a Sunfire Cape right now to dish out, to increase the amount of dual damage that he can do. Sunfire Cape with Shyvana's Burnout does a massive amount of damage. Bottom lane is actually going to sit here. Soyun Jang is actually sitting on top of War, so they'll know when he goes aggressive. He does not have Tibbers up, whereas Yakuo does just barely has Stranglethorns up, so they can initiate a team fight right away. But it looks like Elsis is actually going to make her way up top, and Elsis is actually going to decide to wait here. She may decide to recall, but who knows? Best Baron calls, and her Shyvana and his Shyvana is actually going to probably push. But bot lane just, you know, back and forth trade. All right, so let's see if Best Baron calls will decide to go aggressive onto the tower, and what Elsis will do about it. Elsis decides to sit around here and just not really do too much. Looks like Mondu is actually also coming down to from bot lane. I want to move this, but not a lot of action happening here. Anyway, action here. Stranglethorns comes across, barriers forwards. Ace in the hole comes in. It hits, but it does not kill. Mondude over here, just sitting over here, just probably deciding to push the lane or head back. Veranol gets spotted out by Pikachu Legends, gets pushed back and gets stunned. Mondude actually deciding not to chase for the kill, and red team decides, let's pick up a tower, and then we could possibly get Dragon out of this. I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. Yes, they decide to grab the tower. There you go. And that's their first tower. Red team picks up the first tower of the game in bot lane. Pikachu Legends is already deciding to hit up the dragon and see if they can secure their first global a second global objective right away. As for build so far, it looks like Lol Oops is actually deciding to go for the Blade of the Rune King route onto Jinx, but Elsis and Veranol actually decide to push mid lane and take out the turret. They actually managed to take out the turret, so that global objective is taken, and Best Baron Calls decides to take out top lane along with picking up a kill on Wilbur. He's actually going right away. He's actually unstoppable right now. 5-1, very, very powerful, very far ahead of Wilby. Looks like Lee Sin is actually not able to duel Shyvana as well as planned. But this is a best of 3 series, so the game will go on. I guess I hear it's called round robin or something, but it's pretty much whoever has the most games goes on forward. And it looks like Miniotics just pressing his lead. I think he's going for a Static Shiv based on that Average Blade, going right away for speed rather than right away damage with Bloodthirster. Pikachu Legends already securing his buffs. Syndra, I'm pretty sure. Veranol already picked the blue buff. No, he has not spawned. Mondude actually decided to shove the lane, throws a spear, actually not gonna miss, but looks like they spot out Annie from the southbound, and looks like a lot of poke coming onto her. The spear misses, a fast flash forced on Soyun Jang due to the Stranglethorns. A spear comes across, but it doesn't hit again. Looks like Elsis is also here. Looks like we can possibly get a mini team fight. Little skirmish over here. 2v2 junglers and mid lanes together again. And it looks like bot lane is just full alone. But looks like Miniotics actually coming in with the amount of damage, and Zyra actually, he does not land the stun, but the damage comes right away. Ignite ticking away. Ignite probably gonna pick up the kill. Yes, it will. Yakua picks up a kill on Lol Oops. That's gonna be another kill. That's gonna be Lol Oops' second kill onto the game. More kills than the AD carry. Kind of surprising. Mondude already having blue buff decides to try to. What is he trying to do? He's trying to push the lane. But yes, he does decide to push the lane, drops a ward and runs away. But I think he spots out Elsis. Yes, he does. He just barely space check and spot out Elsis. Jukes the cocoon and just starts nittily pouncing away like a boss. And looks like Best Baron Calls is here to reinforce. Does Best Baron Call decide to go in? No, he gets stunned. He gets hit by a Syndra burst. Huge damage coming across from Syndra. This is the burst that we expect. Ignite ticking away. Ignite actually manages to instantly wipe out Best Baron Calls. Best Baron Calls deciding to grab mobility boost. The spear comes across, actually does a lot of damage. Pikachu Legends with Ragnarok. Veranol flashes over. Pikachu flashes over. Mondude actually popping barrier. Elsa's actually taking a lot of damage. She is out of mana. Veranol actually gets killed by Pikachu Legends due to the reckless swing. Mondude actually dealing a large amount of damage. Yakua picks up his third kill of the game, and looks like that's going to be a 1-for-2 exchange for red team's favor. Red team decides to push down mid. Looks like they actually they will probably manage to take out the tower, but will be Lol actually deciding to try to press his advantage as much as he can, get as much CS as possible, and try to shove out top lane. He's almost got the tower, so he is probably going to get the tower. He's actually going to get that. That's going to be blue team's second objective of the game, whereas red team has picked up 4 objectives already. Red team's actually quite a lead, about roughly 4,000 gold, 4,500 gold to be exact, and that's almost 5,000. Ready, actually kind of early in the game. Trinkets coming out already. we see that the support barely picked up Talisman of Ascension, whereas Zyra Yakuo is not going for Talisman Ascension, but rather going for Sorcerer's Shoes and along with Haunting Guys to actually increase the amount of damage that she does. Taking advantage of a lead is actually a smart thing to do on Zyra. It's pretty cool. I praise him for that. Whereas Soyeon Jang going the defensive standard route, where going for Sightstone and Talisman Ascension for utility-based Annie. Looks like the CS advantage is on for every lane. Yakuo and Mondu are the only ones that are actually falling behind a CS. Everyone else is actually quite ahead on CS. I mean, we can see Veronal with 2 kills is actually 37 CS ahead of Mondu. Spear coming out actually dealing a lot of damage. Now this is where Nidalee starts getting her power spike up. Mondu actually chucking her Veronal's health down. Spear's coming out. This is where the poke comes in. But Wilby-Law, he's sitting on the side. Is he prepared to do a big play? Pikachu Legend throws his axe out, spots him out. Looks like a Q connects, but I doubt that Wilby-Law will actually decide to go in. Spears come out, axes come out, try to push him away. Looks like nothing's gonna happen. Elsa's actually making her way down into the bottom jungle. Into the bottom lane. See if she can get a gank going. But Best Baron Calls is also over there with his mobility boots. So see if she can get a counter gank ready. Looks like all 5 players are ready to fight each other, except Wilby-Law is actually on the top half of the jungle, whereas Mondude, Pikachu Legends, and Best Baron Calls are pushing their way through mid. It's like a lot of wave clear coming out from Veronal, able to push the lane back. Best Baron Calls and his team cannot really siege the tower with the amount of wave clear that Veronal's team possesses, because to siege the tower you're going to need as many minions as possible, and with the amount of damage that Syndra can do, it looks like Ace in the Hole comes out, blocked by Soyeon Jang. That actually does a little bit of damage, not too much onto Soyeon Jang. It's actually quite a bit of tank. Stun going on to Mondude, Timbers comes across, everything gets bursted on, Veronal picks up a kill onto Mondude, but look at this, Best Baron Calls actually manages to pick up a kill on Soyeon Jang. The damage coming across to from Pikachu Legends goes on to Elsa's. Elsa's actually forced to repel. Pikachu Legends gets dangerously low from tower. Lee Sin comes in with the Q after a flash. Minion is forced to flash away. Wilby-Law will not continue to pursue any further. Looks like he's not gonna be able to chase them down anyway. Law Oops also managed to drop them pretty low due to his missile from across the map. Is actually really good. Pikachu Legends was almost killed during that fight, but if that missile had come across, they would have probably gone in deeper. I'm guessing the missile, used to disengage. Pretty smart. Yakuo's pings dragon, I'm pretty sure, and it looks like no ward's gonna be there. It's essentially a free dragon if everyone arrives. However, red team is not there. Red team is actually pretty low. Miniatis is actually on the top lane. Law Oops gets caught out by Yakuo. Yakuo is actually gonna solo 1v1 Law Oops with the amount of damage from Zyra coming out. Bursts right away. Law Oops gets instantly destroyed, or not instantly, just wrecked by the amount of Yakuo. Picking up his 4th kill of the game, sitting at about 1300 gold. That's almost a Liandry's Torment right away. Mondude, Pikachu Legends, and Yakuo decide to do Dragon. Miniotics is just holding his lane top, while Best Baron Calls comes to aid him right away. So 2 top, empty mid, and a free dragon for red team. That's pretty much that's very beneficial for red team. Looks like Pikachu Legends is actually just gonna help Mondude get his blue, whereas Yakuo over here, he decides to rather than deciding to actually continue his Liandry Torment, decides to grab a Talisman of Ascension for his team, and also picks up a Ruby Crystal. But now the utility that was lacking, the extra move speed from Talisman of Ascension, gets added onto Zyra. So now not only will Yakuo deal damage, but he will also provide utility for the team to continue continue chase, or even escape rather. Veronal also sitting way farther ahead in CS, possibly 2 levels, no, not 2 levels under. Mondude seems to be keeping up in levels at a decent rate, just a couple under. Bear's Baron Calls actually using the Dragon Form coming in, the stun coming across from Veronal. Burst comes from Veronal. Veronal forced to flash, the Ignite ticks away and kills Veronal. Veronal actually not able to escape that gank from Best Baron Calls, or not even a gank, just an assault from Best Baron Calls. Best Baron Calls going all in. Flash Q from Soyeon Jang stuns Mondude, but nothing is going to happen from that, as Elxis cannot follow up. Elxis takes quite a bit of damage. Poke from Nidalee comes from the side. The Jinx missile comes across the map. Law Oops picks up a kill onto Best Baron Calls, but Miniotics picks up a kill onto Wilby-Law. Yakuo is actually forced to go away. A stun going off onto Miniotics gives Law Oops a double kill, and then Pikachu Legend shows up to the fight a little late, but he is here. Spear coming across, actually not going to connect. So Yun-Jang actually starting to work on his way to try to get a stun. The stun comes off the Mondu, Strangle Thorns, Snare comes across from Yakuo. Yakuo does not manage to land it. Ragnarok runs out for Olaf. Olaf is now prone to CC. Actually takes a bit of damage from the slow. Elsis, and this is what I'm talking about. The amount of hard CC that So Yun-Jang, Elsis, and Veranol possess is actually quite dangerous. Once someone gets stunned, they can pretty much permanently lock somebody down. So they don't want to get hit by any one of those stuns. Especially the dangerous part of that So Yun-Jang possesses Annie with a Flash Tibbers instant AoE stun. It's very, very scary to see a giant a nearly 2-second stun just come out of nowhere and you know, start a team fight from your team. Veranol can actually do a lot of damage now that he picked up. He actually did not decide to go for Athene's early, but he actually rushed his Deathfire Grass to increase the amount of burst that he can do. That's actually a pretty decent idea, I guess. I don't know how to play Syndra, so I would not know the build myself, but Deathfire Grass is actually a pretty useful item on Syndra, seeing as you have to kind of get close to activate Deathfire Grass, and ulti is also you have to get kind of close, so it works in favor. As for items so far, looks like Oops has decided not to go for the Blade of the Ruin King, but rather go for Infinity Edge, it looks like. Whereas Caitlyn, Miniotix, has chosen not to go for chose to go to the Static Shift. Now, it looks like all the bursts coming in from Mondu. Oops picks up the kill with the missile, and it looks like Elsis is actually making her way. It was making her way up top, but now it decides to go mid. Mondu taking a huge amount of damage, just dying right away from all the Veranol bursts. Using Deathfire Grass, you just get scared, and then the Jinx missile finishing him off, giving a kill to Oops. Oops was at 0 kills, but now he's at 3 kills. He's just on a killing spree. Killing him is he's actually worth golden now. Is kind of vital to the team. But a mid lane push coming off right away. Looks like stun goes off onto Pikachu Legends, and Snare tries to go off. So Yun-Jang does have his stun ready. Looks like a lot of pressure coming in from that tower. It looks like they might be able to take it with the amount of pushing potential and wave clear. Yeah, they do take it. Pushing potential and wave clear from Jinx is just Jinx in the team is just really, really strong. Yakuo actually decides to go out here, just drops a ward in the blue jungle. Might get caught out by Elsis, probably not. But Wilby is actually getting pushed constantly by Best Baron calls throughout the top lane. Turret actually gets killed by blue team at bot lane by Miniotix. Miniotix sees, oh, it looks like the dragon's gonna be up soon. They actually decide to fight a dragon. Stranglethorn comes out, knocks up 2. So Yun-Jang actually gets his up low, but double kill coming out for Pikachu Legends. Pikachu Legends dealing a large amount of damage. Yakuo picks up his 5th kill of the game, and Miniotix is not stopping his push down at bot lane. Whereas Best Baron calls is also not stopping his push down to the top lane. That was a 3v4, and possibly 3v4. It looks like Best Baron calls' team is actually like willing to have 2 people split push at the same time. But Veranol down here, Miniotix actually manages to pick up the turret. Wibilal actually manages to pick up a kill after chasing Best Baron calls. Veranol actually manages to 1v1 solo Miniotix, takes him out, but a price to pay. One kill for a tower is actually kind of worth it, but the inhibitor is exposed at bot lane, whereas up here Wilby-Law, who is actually dangerously behind a gold with no boots and is working on a possible Last Whisper, is actually getting money from from shutting down Shyvana, I believe. That should be a shutdown, right? Either a shutdown or no, it's not a shutdown. It's actually just a kill. Best Baron calls goes down, but item wise now we can take a look at Mondu's items. Even though he was behind early game, and he's still behind now by about over 60 CS, he's actually going for a death cap. Why did I say Rabadon's death cap? And the death cap is actually going to increase his damage tremendously once he finishes it. Whereas Syndra, however, already has Athena Deathfire Grass to make up. That's basically the equivalent of the death cap. But if Veranol actually builds his death cap, that's going to be a dangerous thing too. Veranol is already sitting at 200 gold. He's actually quite ahead of Mondude so far. Mondude is still unable to purchase his death cap because it's so expensive. As for top lane, Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape, the standard 2 items that pretty much make you a tanking god, is just already up there for Shyvana. Spirit Visage increases the amount of healing done to you, increases magic resist, cooldown, and a little bit of health regen, whereas Sunfire Cape is just basically a burnout. Just all this defensive stats with a balance of magic resist and armor is just ready onto ready onto Best Baron calls and they actually red team actually decides to pick up another dragon uncontested by the team. It looks like Veranol actually getting his stun off on 2 people, throws everything he's got at Mondude. Mondude only get it dropped down to 50% health. It looks like Veranol's ulti is down. Another stun trying to come across. Best Baron calls actually going in dragon form. He gets stunned, but look at this. Sohyun Jang actually drops the tippers onto Pikachu Legends, but Pikachu Legends is actually going to pick up the kill. Looks like a missile coming out from Jinx. That's going to be enough. Fight happening right now. Veranol actually picks up a kill onto Miniotics. Jinx actually gets a shutdown onto Pikachu Legends. Best Baron call going deep. Stranglethorn actually hits nobody. Else is actually getting dangerously low. The Ignite actually manages to pick up a double kill onto Shyvana, and Mondude actually throws a spear and picks up a kill on Lol. Oops, that is a 4 for 2 exchange in favor of red team, and it looks like Wilby-Law is actually dangerously low. Did not decide to continue pursuing. He does not have boots. He does not have the home guard to guard the base as quick, so he has to manually walk there all the way across the entire base with 25 less move speed, whereas Sohyun Jang's already just running away near right over to mid lane. As that item's on Wilby-Law, I find it kind of interesting. He's building it like Riven. I think he's building a Randuin's Omen off of that Giant's Belt and Cloth Armor, which is actually pretty good because the amount of sheer amount of damage and getaways that the team has is pretty large. I mean, we got Shyvana speed up, walk away, Miniotics 90 caliber net, Mondude just walking away with his Nidalee Pounce, and Best Baron calls even has an escape. He just turns on Ragnarok. Randuin's actually going to be a pretty good item. As for damage, he picks up Last Whisper and Ravenous Hydra. 2 big items. One gives lifesteal and one gives a major armor penetration. This would have helped. Excuse me. This would have helped in the early game, but actually it doesn't seem that it's going to help now because while his damage may be high, his survivability is pretty low because he is quite the levels down. Or actually, he was quite down early, but he does not have enough health to actually stay in a sustained fight. Is what I'm trying to say. As for CS mid lane, it's about 80 CS difference between both mid laners. Yeah. The stun goes off onto Pikachu Legends. Pikachu Legends actually taking a lot of stuns. This is what I'm talking about. All the damage coming after him. We're getting extremely low. Bam! The missile from Jinx comes off and picks up a kill. Pikachu Legends actually gets killed right away. Even after popping Ragnarok, he gets annihilated by all the CC. Many ults, or just 2 ults coming across. One from Oops and one from Veranol, popping it right away. No flashes burned for that kill, but Pikachu Legends actually tried flashing away, but it wasn't enough. All the permanent stuns locked him down. Miniotics and Yakua actually decide to try and their best to defend this bottom lane. There's like a couple of snares and damage coming out. Wow, a lot of damage coming out from Yakua. Looks like the Stranglethorns comes across, but it's not going to hit anybody. Top lane, Best Baron calls actually manages to run away. Actually trying to get his tower. Mondude actually coming up there. Spear comes across, chucks Veranol down very low. But the wave clear from Veranol and Wilby-Law is actually going to prevent Mondude and Best Baron calls from pushing any further. Whereas bot lane is just deciding to recall at this current time. Miniotics and Yakua actually deal a lot of damage together. I noticed that Yakua has also picked up a Mikhail's Crucible as well, and a Ruby Sightstone. I like the Mikhail's Crucible because due to it's a very wise choice. While being popular, it's also very essential to this team comp. Sometimes people just build Mikhail's Crucible just because it's a support item, but here it's very critical because Miniotics can actually if he gets locked down by Jang and then Elsis and then even Veranol, he's going to be in quite a deep problem. It looks like a stun goes off onto Miniotics. Actually not going to do much. Damage. Ace in the hole comes across, actually going to get them dangerously low. A spear comes across. Veranol also gets dangerously low. An inhibitor taken down by Yakua. That's going to go to red team. That's 1 objective down. 3 towers up onto red team, by the way. They're going to decide to go through blue team's base and decide to transition to mid. Dragon would be spawning in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Looks like they're going to probably contest that. If not, they're going to contest Baron. But as I was saying with the build, looks like Yaku's actually working on his Liandry's Torment at this time. Because at this time, many players like Elsis and Wilby are very tanky. So Liandry's would actually be very helpful. Pings going across onto wards across the map. pink wards get eliminated right away. People decide to go back at this time. Looks like Olaf actually has his Tiamat. His Tiamat is actually really good. He actually does a lot of that damage. Already picked up a Sunfire Cave Spirit Visage and Ancient Golem and Ninja Tabby. A lot of items coming out from him. He's actually probably working on Ravenous Hydra to increase the damage that he does rather than increase the amount of tank that he can tanky damage that he can do. Best Baron Calls actually decides to just walk away, and everything going to be going onto him. All the damage comes out. He actually takes quite a bit of damage before going down. A lot of ults burned on him. Veranol ult burned, LOLOOPS ult burned. Looks like that's not going to be good for the team if they decide, if Mondude's team decides to engage 4v5. Minyonics actually deciding, I'm not going to go, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to push mid. So, but because of this, the team is actually blue team is actually forced to come over there and target Minyonics. Can Minyonics take the tower? No, he cannot. Soyun Jang actually popping up his Talisman Ascension, see if he could actually try to pick up a kill or a stun onto Minyonics. The stun does come off onto Minyonics. Minyonics is active back away. A huge crit comes across onto Soyun Jang, and Soyun Jang gets dangerously low. A huge team fight happening over here as well. Double kill coming onto Mondude. Elsa's actually trying to pick up a kill onto someone. Elsa's actually forced to repel. Actually comes down and gets killed by Mondude. That's a triple kill for Mondude. Minyonics decides, hey, now that they're down and very low, I can push. Stun coming up onto Veranol, actually not going to do much. Minyonics actually decided to push mid along with the rest of the team. While they may not have Baron, they have a lot of sieging power, and looks like they're going to probably take this inhibitor for free and continue to assert the dominance mid lane. Oh, the Timbers comes across onto Mondude. Mondude taking a huge amount of damage. Veranol picks up a kill right away onto Mondude, getting shut down. Pikachu Legends, however, picks up the kill on the low health, or not even if he wasn't low health, just because of his burst. Kicks up a kill onto Soyun Jang right away. So that's a 3-for-1 or a 1-for-1 exchange technically, because the other two were already dead. But Best Baron Call is actually deciding to do Dragon right now, whereas Pikachu Legends and the rest of the remaining members of Team Earth decide to pick up top tower for free. Best Baron Call is actually doing the wise thing, because they don't need him for top, so they decide, let me extend our gold lead. Now they're only 12,000, nearly 12,000 gold ahead, just by simply just grabbing a dragon. 12,000 gold ahead, 33 minutes, 9 kill difference, 5 tower difference. It's pretty detrimental to Team Air right now. Team Air actually deciding, let's go Baron. So I actually finally figured out the team's names. Team Air actually deciding to do Baron. Elsis and LOLOOPS actually just duoing it together, seeing if they could do it. But Minyonics and Team Earth already spot them out through a couple of wards. See if they can actually do anything about it. Minyonics actually coming in. Here comes Pikachu Legend. See if they can actually grab the Smite War on Baron. Looks like Elsis actually manages to pick up the Baron, but she sacrifices her life for it. Snares coming on to Mondude and Best Baron Calls. They do decide to pursue LOLOOPS. Mondude actually being the only one. Mondude taking a huge amount of damage, but Barrier comes across. Mondude actually manages to pick up the kill with the help of the rest of the team, and LOLOOPS is dead and Elsis is dead, so that's going to be 2-for-0 exchange, but they lose the Baron, so that's going to try to keep them in the game, because the difference between gold is only 11,000 now from the 12,000, 13,000 earlier. But it looks like that's not going to matter, because Pikachu Legends is already going deep and trying to push huge pressure onto the mid tower. Major minions, unstoppable minions, and Best Baron Calls coming out to take the bottom inhibitor. Veranol actually trying his best with Wilby-Law to try to take out Pikachu Legends. They do manage to instantly delete the crap out of Pikachu Legends. Looks like Wilby-Law actually getting a lot of damage onto Yakuro. Yakuro forced dangerously low. Kick comes across, knocks them down very low. Team Earth is actually forced to back due to the amount of damage that comes across. The missile comes across, hits Mondude, but it doesn't kill him. Mondude heals right away. All two inhibitors are actually down. That's going to be a lot of pressure onto mid lane and bot lane from Team Earth. While this may be happening, the top inhibitor is also less than 50% health, so if they decide to push top together, then they'll have 2 super creeps every wave, and that's going to be very dangerous for Team Air. Oh, it looks like disconnect coming out from Jang. I don't know if there's going to be a pause coming in very soon, but it's pretty bad if they don't pause the game right now. He's still dead, but that doesn't really count. Poke coming out from Lalu is getting less than 50% health with one spear. That's pretty detrimental to his. That's pretty detrimental. Looks like Vernal is also. Vernal takes another spear. That's 50% of his health. One more spear and he's pretty much dead. 68,000 gold. Looks like So Yunjake does reconnect. 68,000 gold to 56,000 gold. That's a 12,000 gold difference just being kept kept by Team Earth. Vernal. Oh, another pause coming out right now. I guess just trying to get him to get back into the game. But that was one interesting. These are some interesting games. Since it's a best of 3, it's gonna be we're gonna see what is banned next time, because I'm pretty sure they can't let a Shyvana be open for best Baron calls, because Shyvana is currently one of the best top laners right now. You can see why, because her dueling potential against Wilby Law's Lee Sin was just extremely like it's just extremely like dominant. As for items right now, it looks like Mondu's already picked up his death cap along with the void staff, so that's why his spears are going to be chunking for about 50%. Whereas Vernal has picked up his Void Staff, and is also working towards the Zhonya's Hourglass. Rather than a Death Cap, he's going to save his Power Spike towards the end if the game drags on that far. Grabbing all these items right away, you can see that his damage. I mean, Pikachu Legends is one tanky Olaf. He's got Spirit Visage, he's got Sunfire Cape, he's got Ninja Tabi, he's got Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and he's working on possibly a Randuin's or maybe even a Frozen Heart. And he's already finished his Ravenous Hydra, but due to the amount of magic resist that he has, Vernal and So Yunjang are actually able to poke him down, because Pikachu Legends actually emphasized his build on armor more rather than building magic resist. The only magic resist he has is Spirit Visage. Is probably not going to be enough to tank the massive amount of magic damage that the team possesses. On Elsis's build, we can see that she's possibly working on a off that Kindle gem. She's possibly working on a Spirit Visage to just try to mitigate the amount of damage that the top laner Yakuo and Nidalee can do. She's already got her Haunting Guys for the early Magic Pen, but it's not really helping out, because her early pressure was not as strong as it should have been. Or, well, it was really strong, but like she chose to she kind of got low and has to force back, and Elsis actually didn't get to pursue stronger ganks, because I feel as if Pikachu Legends ganked more than Elsis. But that's just me. As for bot lane support, looks like So Yunjang actually working on a Death Cap right now off as his next item, trying to increase the amount of burst that he can do. Whereas Yakuo, he's just finished his he's already finished his Liandry's Torment, so his burn damage is actually going to be quite insane. And as long as he's also got the Twin Shadows on his side. Twin Shadows is an item that grants 2 nearby players, or summons 2 ghosts that seek out 2 nearby players, and they slow that target. Then they don't deal damage, but this item provides magic resist and ability power, and even move speed. So it's actually a pretty good item on support, especially if you're having a team that has a lot of gap closers. Slowing down the targets with Twin Shadows and then landing a spear. I mean, like when you're slower, it's harder to dodge, so it's pretty essential for an item. Even chases, even when they're chasing, Yakuo's double slow with Twin Shadows is actually going to be really detrimental. Huh. Looks like there's going to be quite a long pause, but what I can say is that the amount of CS difference is still very present in mid. I mean, 300 CS already going on to Vernal, whereas Mondude actually going in for 160, so he's actually pretty far behind. We have top laner CS is actually, at this point it doesn't matter because it's only about 30 CS difference, but the gold difference between the two of them is huge because that just means more items. Wilby actually does manage to get his Merc Treads and his he actually manages to get his Last Whisper, his Randuin's and a Murktras already. It looks like this is going to be the final push from Best Baron Calls' team, Team Earth. Looks like a massive amount of damage, almost like that's 80% of Sohyun Jang's health, forcing him to back right away. Law Oop's taking a huge amount of damage from Pikachu Legends. Sohyun Jang actually has his home guard coming in. One Nexus turret was already fallen. Possibly the next Nexus turret to end the game comes right here. I'm gonna hide the interface and see what happens. Mondu gets annihilated right away by Baronol. Pikachu Legends is actually going in really hard. In the backline, Meteorix gets instantly killed by Lawloops. Stranglethorns comes across, knocks all 5 members of the team up. Team Earth actually going up. Elsus actually coming up. Best Baron Calls comes in right away. Actually managed to tank out the entire team, but he's actually getting dangerously low. What can he do? Best Baron Calls actually manages to get killed by Lawloops. Lawloops picking up a kill. That's gonna be a 4-for-1 exchange in Team Air's favor. That's actually possibly what they need to push back and try to defend. Push back to, that could be a comeback, is what I'm trying to say. They're only about 10 to 9,000 gold behind from their earlier 12,000. There's flat 12,000 deficit, but with this 9,000 gold deficit, kills being picked up, especially onto Lol Oops. The 80 carry, you want the 80 carry to get fed at this point in the game. Veronal actually started the team fight by instantly wiping out Mondu. Just his Q Deathfire Grasp, into a stun, and then immediately onto the ultimate, just unleashed the power of Syndra at its fullest, and just instantly annihilated Mondu. Even after he tried healing and no, he did not barrier. No, he did barrier, I think, and he didn't manage to flash. But yeah, the amount of damage that Veronal can do, even when Mondude has Athene's Unholy Grail, is just insane. Another pause coming out. At the beginning of the team fight, we see that Mondude actually tossed out a spear and actually got Sohyun Jang dangerously low, which is the power of a poke comp. Poke comp actually got Annie out of the combat, so it became a 5v4, and then right afterwards, they decided to press the assault. But the thing was that the team was split. Best Baron Calls decided actually to go in at the last minute, taking all 4 members, and he just decided to die and just got dropped right away. A lot of Oops picking up quite a bit of kills. Minionix was actually positioning was actually quite different too. He actually gets killed right away by Jinx's zap spell. It was kind of strange for him to be in a position like that, but item-wise, it looks like Caitlyn's already got her Last Whisper, possibly going for her final item, whereas Jinx, on the other hand, Jinx on the other hand is actually still going for Last Whisper. Does not have an attack speed item except for Blade of the Ruined King. In the top lane, Shyvana is actually picking up an Aegis of the Legion for a more team support or team-oriented team fight. Possibly picking up the Locket to give her team a little shield for the team fight. Randuin's Omen's already finished as well, giving a lot of armor to Best Baron Calls, and Blade of the Ruined King for the movement speed increase. Whereas Wilby Law has not picked up any new items. Not many champions have actually picked up the new items from this point, but Veronal did actually get his Zhonya's Hourglass. Zhonya's Hourglass is going to be pretty crucial to a mid laner, because if he's prone to being focused, he could just press the button and then he's invulnerable. And Jinx, on the other hand, is actually sitting at 2,000 gold with a pickaxe and a longsword, possibly able to just go back and just buy a Last Whisper right away. Whereas Wilbilal is sitting at 1,400 gold, and he can just sell his Doran Blade and buy some item right there. Not much else to say, but Mondude actually sitting on 1,114 gold, actually possibly just going to buy his Seeker's Arm Guard for Zhonya's Hourglass. And so the pause is actually we're just about to get back into the game. Looks like Mondu is actually gonna take blue. All 3 inhibitors are down for blue side, so minions are coming in constantly for both sides of the game. You can see that 2 super minions already coming out of here, 2 super minions coming out in here, and 2 super minions already pushing down the bot. 2 super minions actually pushing down the bot lane, I think. I don't know where they are right at this point. They're supposed to be here, but oh, I guess it's because the inhibitor respawned. But this is another push coming out from Team Earth. Veronal actually gets a stun off onto Mondude. Deathfire Grass coming off onto Mondude right away, gets him dangerously low. He actually manages to get cleansed by Miniotics. Yukuo actually doing a great Mikhail's Crucible right there. And Pikachu Legends and Team Earth actually decides to get the bottom hitter right away, because the pressure coming out from mid lane and top lane from this double super minions from each lane is actually overwhelming them right now. And right now, this is where the game could end. If Best Baron Calls decides to just go for the tower. No, Wilbur Law actually taking a huge amount of damage. Stranglethorn comes off, picks up 2 people. Yaku actually manages to become unstoppable, picking up a kill out to anti-support. Elsa's actually taking a large amount of damage. Ace in the Hole comes out. Best Baron Calls actually taking a large amount of damage. Pikachu Legends actually gets hit into the tower and he dies. But it looks like the Super Minions will manage to take out the Nexus, and it looks like Team Earth wins game 1. Okay, I'm Vegematic, and I will be seeing you guys during game 2.